There was a time, and not so long ago, when boxing, or prize fighting, was the premier sporting contest in this country, the United States. Horrifying in its premise, that a society would allow, encourage, admire, and reward two men for savagely beating each other, boxing was sheer brutality, slightly padded to pass as sport. Boxing represented to the nation what bullfighting did to Spain, a masculine ideal. A fight was more than just an event, it was a non-lethal duel, a struggle for supremacy in a tightly closed space with a mythic undertow that dragged every spectator along in its wake. A spirited contest between two great champions was more than a violent encounter. It was high drama, with definitive scenes and acts, reversals and uprisings, and a final thrilling conclusion. Boxing rarely disappointed. The anticipation for a big fight was enormous, and the bout itself, signaled by the clang of the bell, delivered the full measure of action, speed, power, courage, and will. And the top fighters had their own style. The confrontation of two styles wrote the script, made the fight, but did not determine which would prevail. The best writers dipped their pens in the blood of the ring, trying to put into words what happened in there, and what it meant, why it was so gripping. No painter could have asked for a greater canvas on which to create their masterpiece. Now, this is gone. Gone where, I'm not sure. Gone why, I don't know. But boxing has virtually disappeared from the American sporting horizon. For example, this was an Olympic year. There was an Olympic boxing team. The American Olympic boxing team used to produce as many as 5 or 6 future champions. Men who would unspool legendary careers after they won Olympic gold. I heard almost nothing about this team. I could not name a single fighter. I don't know if any of them won. The level of interest in this was essentially zero. The heavyweight champion of the world, once a proud and mighty figure with a tremendous cachet, I cannot tell you who he is. I have no idea. I no longer follow the sport because, in part at least, there is no sport to follow, no organized entity. There once was an unquestioned, unbroken chain of fighters, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, but that was fractured by greedy promoters and matchmakers into so many divisions and so-called champions holding up their gaudy belts that it became a tired joke, which dissipated into a fog, and when that cleared, there was nothing. Now, I don't know what, if anything, remains. Pac-Man was going to fight Money. That was going to be the last big fight, even though it was in a lighter weight division, but it didn't happen. Pac-Man got beat, Money was in jail, and they're too old, and it doesn't seem to matter much anymore. Boxing has been replaced by football, basketball, and baseball, and some others, including rap music. These sports have grown and grown and grown until perhaps there is simply no room for boxing. And for a young athlete, there's too much risk in boxing. The other sports are physically safer and promise huge financial rewards. Why train in some dirty old gym when there is mega glory to be found in other ways? So when I look around, boxing is gone. Does this say anything about us? That we are more civilized? That we no longer find such a deep satisfaction in watching men beat each other as we did with cockfights or in seeing pit bulls tear each other apart? If boxing is really gone, is it an advance, or have we lost something essential, a primitive vitality that enabled us to get where we are? Can we factor that out and still go on? I can still see a good fight, any number of them, by dialing up a contest on the internet. And there is kickboxing or ultimate fighting, something like that, which has a carnival aspect to it, and is a combination of boxing, judo, wrestling, banging, gouging, choking, and grinding, which is in no way as pleasing as a real boxing match between two superbly conditioned and skilled athletes. The sweet science, they called it. The punishment you could deliver, the beating you could absorb, the punches you could slip or avoid, the artistry in the ring, the force you could summon, one-on-one, man-to-man, that's gone. Our gladiators are scoring touchdowns and then being flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct for excessive display. Excessive display now seems to be the point. The stripped-down conflict of boxing is gone.